Hello, hello. Welcome to Beautiful Minds podcast. My name is Jamie Taylor, and again, I am a licensed professional counselor. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting down and talking with my mother, surrounding topics ranging from religion and mental health in church communities to caretaking of a loved one with a chronic disease and terminal health issue. What you're about to see is the caretaker portion of our sit down. Please join us as we get candid and a bit personal about the difficulties of taking care of a loved one. I hope you enjoy this episode and slight peek into my personal life as much as I enjoyed sitting down and chatting with my beautiful and beloved mother. As always, thank you for tuning in. Hello, hello. Welcome to Beautiful Minds podcast. My name is Jamie. Again, I am, just in case you don't know, I am a licensed professional counselor. I have been practicing for about 7 years as a fully licensed practitioner, but I've been in the mental health field quite a bit prior to. And the guest that we have today would be my mom, Loretta. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
My name is Loretta Arthur, and I am a retired registered nurse, and I'm here today to support my daughter and to help her with whatever she wants me to do today. I'm at her disposal.
Nice. Yes, so we're going to get into quite a few topics today, some of which blend Christianity, religion with mental health, some not. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and segue into another topic. I know it is a topic that is close to your heart, one that hits pretty close to home, one that I think a lot of people can relate to, but it's that of which being a caretaker for a loved one. Maybe they have a health diagnosis, a serious one. I know in our case, it's, my grandmother, your mother with dementia. Tell us a little bit about that. What is that experience like for you? Some of the challenges, some of the things that you go through as it relates to being a caretaker.
I think in the beginning, first of all, my caretaking time started with my husband.
That's true.
Initially. I mean,
Right.
I'm a retired nurse, and so caretaking is not something that is unfamiliar to me. I've been doing that for 35 years all
Very
my
true. Very
and
true.
so but to transition to taking care of a family member,
Right.
that's different. And so caring for my husband who had terminal cancer, any focus that you might have on yourself
Right.
has to change.
Wow.
It has to turn and it has to go towards your loved one. And it's not easy because they are going through a whole lot. They're
Right.
in their mind.
Right.
You have to keep remembering that they're going through a whole lot, so much that you can't even relate to where they are mentally, how they're dealing with it. So first of all, you just have to understand that, and I think my experience helped me with that. I have ICU background, that kind of thing, and been very cool and calm about taking care
Right.
of someone. But like I said, when it turns to your own personal family,
Right.
there's a different emotional component of it that you have to deal with.
Right.
And for my husband, that was hard. He was stronger. But when you add the Alzheimer's,
Right.
mental dementia
Right.
component into it, that makes it even harder. And for me, it was hard for me initially
Right.
because
Yeah.
I didn't want it. I didn't want it to happen.
Yeah.
I was mad. I was angry.
You had to come to a place of acceptance.
And I had to, I was angry. I didn't want her to have it. And sometimes you're angry and you're thinking, no, you don't have to have this. And so
Right.
you're trying to bully them out
Right.
of the symptoms, bully them out of acting the way they're acting,
Right.
and it came to a point where I had to accept it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it can't be easy. And thank you for referencing, your husband, my stepdad, that you had to take care of. It can't be easy for them in their bodies to go through the transitions they're going through. And I'm pretty sure they might project or act in a certain way just to mentally have to bear such heaviness. How do you do? Is that what you were talking about? Like having to put that aside, not personalize some of the things they do and say? Tell me about that.
Absolutely. Uh, that is first and foremost, that you have to not personalize what's being said to you, their emotions, what they're going through, their anger,
Right.
the stages that they're going through,
Of
because
grief.
they're going through grief.
Yep.
They and you're trying to support them. You're trying to support their hope. You're trying to keep their hope. You can't define that hope for them. They have to define it for themselves.
Right.
And you have to agree. Be in a place of agreement, even if you don't agree with it.
Right.
Where it's going to be. Being a nurse, and I see you, nurse, I can see things that's going on with my husband that I, had to go back and forth through my spiritual and nursing background, watching somebody physically deteriorate. You're going back and forth just as they are. So if you're going back and forth, then they're going back and forth.
Absolutely.
And it's really, really hard.
Yeah, I bet it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I can't say it in any other way but being raw and honest, but you're slowly watching a loved one die, Ooh. How do you deal with that when it comes to your own mental health? Where do you compartmentalize? Where do you place that in order to be fully present and to be to achieve what you need to achieve when it comes to the day-to-day tasks with them?
I think for me, and I've been accused of I can be business.
Yeah, that's true.
Business,
that she can. She can compartmentalize, y'all.
I can compartmentalize.
Very, very well.
I can be business-like. I can put things in perspective, and I can say, no, we're not going to do this, or I plan. I make plans. I decide how we're going to react to certain things, certain issues, and my focus is on getting things done.
Yes, very true.
So I'm trying to get things done for my family member, then sometimes it'll clash with what your family member wants or what they're capable of doing at that moment. Yeah, it will clash. Right. But for me, I'm business as usual, and I can be labeled as a little cold, and I'm not being cold. I'm just trying to get things done.
That's true. I will say I jump in and kind of try to sweep up the emotional aspect of things when it comes to certain family members that you're taking care of. But I mean, so then that leads to my next question. Do you need multiple different types of caretakers? Because I know it's not just you, it's my auntie, my uncle, especially, when it comes to grandma. Do you need one designated person to get the day-to-day tasks done? Do you need another person to kind of address the emotional and validate their experiences, their grief, so on? Do you need multiple people? Because some people don't have multiple people, it's just them.
And the problem with that with dementia and mental health is depending on where they're at in their disease process or in their course, depending where they're at, you have to evaluate them day to day. You're not going to get the same person each day.
Right.
The same, what worked yesterday is not going to work today.
Got it.
Today you can talk them into taking a shower.
Right.
Tomorrow you can't talk them into taking a shower.
Right.
And so, so the tactics you use today may not work tomorrow.
Right.
And so even if you have the different people, and I think a lot of it also with dementia and Alzheimer is based on your relationship, the relationship you had with them prior to them deteriorating, because for some reason they remember they're very paranoid anyway in the process.
Absolutely.
And they can get to the point where they don't trust particular people.
Absolutely.
And based on your history, your relationship with them, that lingers with them and stays with them a lot longer than anything else. And so there may be one person in the family that can talk to them and get them to do. There's another, like my brother, he can get my mom to do some things. I can get my mom to do some things. My sister she can get her to do some things. But you have to, it truly is different than just regular illness when somebody's still in their good mind and in a good place mentally. It's different. And so the frustration sometimes is that, and then you have to, because some days there's outbursts. Some days they're angry because they know they're deteriorating.
Absolutely.
It's not like they don't know. But when they get to the point where they're living moment to moment, they don't remember the previous moment. They don't know where they're going the next moment. And it's frustrating for them.
Absolutely.
And they know it. And so it's going to sometimes come out in different ways. And it is helpful if you have other family members or caregivers or whatever. And so what you have to do is you have to watch the progression of their illness. And your focus, for me, my focus is always safety. And so my focus for me is, as she advances in the illness, to keep an eye on what's needed, what changes are needed. We just put arm holding brackets in the shower so she can hold on to them to get in, because now walking is an issue. And not so much that she's not strong, but her brain disconnects and she doesn't know that she's strong and that she can utilize her leg. So we just put brackets in it, or we just put something around the toilet where she can push herself up on it. As you see these changes occur, muscle changes, you have to make the changes, and they may not be for it. They may not be on board with it. But your goal is to make sure they're safe. And they're cared for.
And I think from my perspective, you're focusing on safety. And I think I'm focusing on validating their experience, and understanding what's behind their behavior. So they want sameness in a world that's changing. I can't do this today. I could do this yesterday. Not today. Who are you? Did we talk? So on and so forth. So it's just clutching onto what is the same, even if they know the change is for their own good. Or even validating their experiences, even going back to my stepdad, talking to him constantly as he was passing, and just kind of validating his experience, the grief, so on and so forth, reassuring, going over what do you want, what do you need, the emotional aspects of things. And same with grandma too, it's just the emotions behind it. What are you feeling like? Or people don't listen to me. Well, I'm listening to you, grandma, what do you need, and so on and so forth, and how do you feel,
And you're definitely right, because they do need that. And some people, that's not me. I can't be that emotional person and
but that's
get
okay.
You to do what you need to do.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Somebody has to be the bad guy, kind of and somebody has to get. And I remember when my father actually, when he passed, and my father used to say, call me the enforcer. That my nickname was the enforcer, because I'm going to encourage you to do what you need to do. And being a nurse, I'm going to say what's best for you, knowing what's best for you. Like, I won't let my mom stay in the bed not too long. I may give her a day, but I'm not going to let her keep, because I say, Mom, if you start laying in this bed and don't get up, then we're going downhill. We're going downhill. And I know what that can do. And so I'm pushing to get up, whereas maybe my other siblings are saying, let her sleep, let her sleep. But I'm looking at the long term and trying to retain as much as she can do as long as we can.
Absolutely.
And they may be looking in the moment saying, let her, just let her. And so sometimes you may have that issue with multiple caregivers
Right.
in the house that you don't always agree upon how you should manage them.
Right. I mean, again, I think that there is room and space for all different perspectives and strengths and so on. And we need the enforcer. The enforcer saved my life on a health issue, y'all. So that's another topic. But I appreciate that essence, although it does get uncomfortable, but it's needed for sure, for sure. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of you all who are in similar situations have a different perspective, similar perspectives, so on and so forth. It is not an easy thing. There are support groups literally designated for people who are caregivers. So if you have a perspective that you would like to share, please share. But that will wrap up that topic for us for today. Thank you, Mom, for your vulnerability and sharing about some of your experiences, because again, it's not easy to watch and to do what you're doing. So thank you for what you do for our family. And again, thank you, Kabik, for producing this Beautiful Minds podcast. We will see you guys next time.